What to expect during a first meeting? Well, cross-border financial planning is fundamentally different from conventional advice. The typical client a domestic advisor sees has a straightforward story. Born here, living here, family here, retiring here, dying here. One country, one tax regime, one set of rules. My clients are rarely that simple. And that's precisely why they need a different kind of advisor. International wealth manager requires thinking across multiple jurisdictions simultaneously. Tax residency, domicile, nationality, double tax agreements, exchange controls, investment restrictions, and the very real possibility that your life will span several or more countries before you're done. Where do you want to end up? Where does your money need to be accessible from? What saving structures make sense today without creating a tax headache for tomorrow? Either in your current home country or, back abroad. These are the questions that fundamentally define what I do. Our first meeting is about two things: introducing myself and getting to know you. I'll walk you through who I am and who Holborn Assets is, our history, our global offices and licenses, our standing in the industry, and how we compare to advisors you might find locally or back home. My own qualifications, licenses, and experience across multiple countries are relevant here too, because of the complexity of your situation demands someone who has actually lived and worked in jurisdictions they're advising on. Then the focus shifts entirely to you. I want to understand where you've been, where you are now, and where you're headed, both financially and in life. Your goals, your ambitions, your timeline, where you might relocate to next and for how long, and what you ultimately want your wealth to do for you. I like to think of wealth as a journey. Everyone is unique because every driver is different. Different destinations, different passengers, different pit stops, unexpected detours, and the very reason for setting out on that journey in the first place. No two journeys are the same, which means no off-the-shelf solution will ever fit. This matters enormously when it comes to nationality and tax residency. An American expat has an entirely different obligations and exposures to an Australian, a Brit, a South African, an Irishman, a Spaniard, or even a Kiwi. Each carries its own set of rules, nuances, and potential consequences, especially when savings and investments back home were set up without any consideration of your life abroad. Once I have a clear picture of you as a person, I'll complete a basic fact find to understand what your financial position looks like on paper. Your goals, your assets, your current structures, and any gaps or risks worth addressing. From there, I'll assess honestly whether and how I can actually add value. And if I can, I'll show you specifically where that value lies and what the key areas are that we would need to look at together. The whole conversation typically takes around an hour and a half. I don't rush it, and I deliberately don't try to solve everything in one sitting. If it's clear that I can be of genuine help, I'll suggest we schedule a second meeting. And there we will then move from understanding to action and start building a solution designed specifically for you. Finally, I hold myself to a standard that I believe every financial advisor should be measured against. If you are sitting across from someone who is asking for your business, which they are, your trust, your money, your future, they should at the very least be able to teach you something that you didn't already know. Not just repackage, what they've read online or tell you something that you want to hear, but genuinely shift the way you think about your wealth and your options. If you walk away from a first meeting without thinking, wow, I have never looked at wealth that way before, or without feeling that was genuinely valuable and a worthwhile use of my time, then you have to ask yourself, a simple but very important question. Why would you do business with that person? A first meeting should leave you better informed than you were when you walked in. It should open your eyes to possibilities, risks, perspectives that you hadn't even considered. It should give you something to think about, regardless of whether you decide to do business with that person or not. And that is the bar I set for myself every time with every first meeting.